It's the two strange.
Okay, I am clearing my throat. I am pressing record. We are in the building. I'm just going to finish my little bit of chow mein I've made for myself.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Of course you are, yeah.
You're recording.
Yeah, well, enjoy that, because I haven't got
good.
food, because some of us are locked in.
Locked in?
I'm locked in.
You had like months to realise that you needed to get food for a work day,
I mean, that's true.
and you refused to do it. You spend your money on all sorts of
Right,
crap.
okay. This is becoming a very, almost a lecture.
Yeah.
Quite a big lecture.
Yeah. Well, I am. Oh, yeah. I am paid to be a lecturer, so that's what I do. But yes, I do like what you're saying there.
And if you're munching on chow mein, I'm just going to get myself comfortable.
Shall I have a couple more munches while you do
Yeah,
that?
go for it.
Yeah.
That
Fuck
was,
our listeners.
That was definitely not dramatised for listeners. With every scrape of the chair.
That's everything. I've eaten everything.
So now we're an ASMR podcast.
Ugh. I hope
Honestly,
the sounds didn't
They're
come up.
awful, aren't they? Like, who enjoys that? Like, the slapping and the crunching of...
But again, like I keep saying to you, the majority of the world is awful. It's full of awful people.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like they are very popular. Like
Yeah, like insanely popular.
I had a friend who I studied media with and everything like that. I'm trying to get him into like filmmaking again and stuff like do creative stuff. And like his ideas are like, let's do an ASMR thing. I'm like, fuck off, you pervert.
But also, probably would be, if you did, the most successful thing you probably would ever work on.
It's exactly what he said, and he gave me facts and figures. So I'm just like, no, thank you.
Yeah. We're not chasing that ASMR clout. We are authentic, real. Well, like your need to never do a trending topic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and look, if you get tantalised by any ASMR sounds, okay, that's free of charge. All right, we're not charging for that. If you
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unintentional ASMR, which
Absolutely.
is like AMR voyeurism, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole different kink.
yeah.
Because I think ASMR is a kink. I'm putting it out there.
Oh, absolutely,
That's-
100% sounds.
Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that?
I think ASMR is a gateway, like a gateway drug. It's a gateway to OnlyFans. All right.
Yeah, because I bet most of them, like most of the women who are subtly talking to the camera, right, probably also have a Fansly or an OnlyFans or something.
Yeah, of course. And it's only a matter of time because you'll be like, oh, look at these comments. Oh, maybe there's a separate market there.
They'll pay me double to show my double entendres. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, double entendres. Speaking of the biggest,
Yeah, the biggest double entendre.
what we're going to be doing today is we're actually going to be talking about. Well, I mean, like we don't actually have a specific theme, didn't we? I just randomly emailed you and said, like,
Wasn't
do what
even
you
that.
wish with this.
Email would have been nice. It was a WhatsApp, and I think, in fact, you keep talking. I'm going to read out the exact WhatsApp when I get it out, because this is all I had to go on, folks.
So this week I simply want to talk about, within the topic of strange, esoteric, and scientific and cultural strangeness, just the idea of the biggest in the world. Yeah, I thought it would be an interesting way to go.
The
with
biggest of the boys.
the biggest of the boys. Yeah, two big boys, two strange boys. Talking about
Two big strange boys.
two big strange boys. Big strange. And so, yeah, I've got a number of different topics here that in some way relate to the idea of the biggest.
Yeah, and so this is all I got, right? And bear in mind, this is at 7. I'm with my kid.
Yeah.
And this pings through my phone. Tomorrow's episode is about big things. That's all I'm giving you. Do with this information what you will. And then in all caps, two massive spaces and big things. And that was it.
That's to inspire you.
That was my brief.
Yeah. And you did well with your brief, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, although I've left my research at home, but it's in the mind dome. It's in my big brain.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got a number of different topics. I'm going to cover one, and then I'll pass it over to you. Now, do you know what the the largest or biggest ever scientifically recorded twat in the room is?
Twat in the room.
Yeah. It's one Tom McGarity.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that. These get worse. These like little tie-ins, these little jokes. Worse ones. You fully had me in when it was like scientific, and then you said twat, and I was out.
That was by design. Anyway, so actually, I'm going to be talking about, first of all, the biggest god.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're usually quite large, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you seen one? What do you have to go by?
Just like scripture, like
maybe
some
scripture.
Yeah, scripture,
and someone's measuring the fucking god, like in scripture.
Well, they look big on the films, don't they?
What films are you watching that you got big gods?
Passion of Christ.
And in the Passion of Christ, is the god depicted?
Yeah, as the sun breaking through.
No. Yeah. I mean, okay, I'll give you that. A lot of the gods out there are represented by the sun, aren't they? And that's a pretty big thing. Yeah.
But if you see drawings and they're next to humans, they are almost always taller. Unless they're small by design, and that's their key thing, right? Like Hermes is sometimes drawn as small and scrawny to be able to get into places.
I just see them as human size in the paintings and other such things.
But sometimes they've got for scale, right? Like Hercules, for example, there are drawings of Hercules next to people, and he is a lot taller. Yeah. And he is the same size as most of the Olympians.
But he's a demigod.
But he's the same size as most Olympians.
Okay, all right.
So by that logic, that would suggest that the Olympians are taller.
All right, 7 foot, 8 foot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
We're not talking about an 8-footer, are we?
No, we're not. We're talking about something a bit larger than that. Essentially, in Hindu mythology, I
knew it was going to be Hindu.
Did you?
I just had that feeling.
Okay. So essentially, the god Vishnu, or at least, I kind of feel is Vishnu kind of like a sort of a demigod like Hercules, where it's kind of like he's or she is recruited by the gods to do stuff for them. I don't know. I'm kind of getting that idea. But anyway, he is a god. Essentially, he goes through in his time in the scriptures and things like that. He goes through a number of different what's the word? It's like, sort of like almost like rebirths and things like that. He has several different avatars. Yeah, very much in the same sense that we think of as Avatar. You know, the James Cameron one, not the anime one.
He based it, didn't he, on that sort of like cycle of rebirth and becoming something else.
Yeah. But that's what we're kind of like looking at, is the idea of becoming something else. During Vishnu's 5th avatar, it was called Vamana. It tells the story of how the god took the form of a humble dwarf to outwit an ambitious king, Bali. Now, Bali had conquered the heavens, earth, and underworld. He declared himself master of the cosmos. Yeah? And so the other gods turned to Vishnu and asked them to sort this out, because obviously they can't have that. But anyway, he approached Bali during a sacred ritual in the form of a small, seemingly harmless priest, a dwarfish priest, if you will. So Vanama, his priest, asked for 3 paces of land. Please, sir, please, can you just spare 3 paces of land? And
I'm glad you dramatised that. I'm there now.
Yeah, and by that we mean 3 paces, as in 3 strides. Yeah, that's all he wants. Yeah,
3 strides.
And so haughty Bali.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Is amused. Yeah, and he grants the request. He said, 3 strides, please. I rule the cosmos. You can have them, no problem. So he grants the request, and instantly, Vamana, who was this very small dwarf, grew to cosmic proportions, and his first step covered the heavens, his second the earth, and with no place left for the third, he offered Bali had to offer his own head. So, complete humiliation. Absolutely.
I want scale.
Yeah.
That's not good enough, just saying cosmos and earth. I want scale. Like, are we talking the whole Milky Way in one stride?
If you like. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Let's go back. So yeah, what does he have? It's the heavens, second the earth. Yeah. So I've always had a problem with the idea of what the heavens are. Like, is this the sky? Is this the earth?
Could be the size of this room.
Yeah. Like that first stride, you'd put in most of your effort into that. That's almost like a long jump as opposed to a stride, because like obviously the heavens is maybe the rest of the universe, and then you've got the earth. He's kind of like tiptoeing for those last two. And then the last one's on his head. I don't necessarily think this is meant to be taken literally, Thomas, the tank engine.
I'm just... The Earth is spherical. So it fell off it.
Yeah, possibly.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Stupid, try again.
Fuck off. That's you in the Hindu monastery. It's like, what? Fuck off.
Yeah. I could buy that other shit, but what you're peddling there, that's ridiculous.
I'm going back to Christianity.
Yeah. See you later.
But no, it's symbolic. And it's kind of interesting, this idea of cosmic scales. And the idea of like being able to expand to cover all of these places. You could look at this in a number of different ways. So these layers could be interpreted in different ways. So the 3 strides can symbolize not just physical realms, but also cosmic planes. So Agni as in fire, Vayu as in air, and Surya as in sky or heavenly realms. Yeah, air being that intermediate space between the earth and heaven. Yeah, as well as also states of consciousness. So the idea of 3 strides being wakefulness, dreaming, and then deep sleep as well.
Okay.
I've been having some pretty crazy dreams recently.
Is that what it's come from? Because you had a vision of someone stepping over the entire heavens, just like big things.
Absolutely not. I've had dead loved ones actually visit me recently, and just have like random just like chats with them. Not random. It's just like oh, I miss you, that sort of stuff.
Do you think that's stress, or like it's it's the end of like a grieving process? Like, I'm fascinated by dreams. And
but
what
it's
they
like
mean.
it's a grieving process that I almost feel like. I mean, like, do you ever finish grieving? Like, that would be a bit sad if you ever finish it.
No,
actually grieving.
I think you always miss the people, don't you?
Yeah.
Just you're
able to come to
process
terms
is more
with it.
refined.
Yeah.
Like, you're able to wade through that water easier.
But I just like the idea of this idea of like ghosts and like ancestor worship and this idea of the dream consciousness in sort of like ancient mythology and stuff like that, having just this extra layer of I guess belief attached to it and stuff. I find it kind of fascinating, and when I have like a vivid dream that's not just my brain just being a bit silly, and it's actually something that's kind of like, oh, okay, this is almost like personal psychology
And tangible, right?
Yeah. I can see kind of like those connections there. I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, that was Vishnu's
Big steps.
big steps. Yeah.
Big boy, big steps.
Big boy, big steps. Would you like to talk about a big subject?
I'd like a big subject.
I'd like a big biscuit, but I'll settle with a subject.
Have you seen? I mean, this is not a subject we had prepared, but I think it's fascinating. There's a whole trend at the moment. Like cooking YouTube, like YouTube shots, or cooking TikTok.
Yeah, my son's always looking at the cooking YouTube stuff.
So there's a trend at the moment. There's a particular person who is taking small things like a Scotch egg.
Yeah.
And is like like the tiny Scotch eggs, not the big ones.
Yeah, the party ones.
And the party ones. And he's making them big.
Yeah, okay.
And like his whole thing is he starts off going, "Is bigger truly better?" So he'll get like
never,
never
is it better.
And usually that's the case.
Yeah.
So he'll take like a cupcake and he'll make it the size of a giant cake, which
Yeah.
to me is just a cake, right?
Yeah.
But I saw one where he made a giant Kit Kat.
Yeah.
And it was the size of, I mean, the listeners don't know the size of this room, but like it was almost like an 8-foot Kit Kat, right? Like from one side to the end, like it was huge, and he even like etched in Kit Kat, like did like a 3-foot stencil, and I just thought like every time I see something like that, like, what would the factories have to look like
Yeah.
to be able to produce something like that?
Just bigger factories.
Yeah.
Next question.
No, but like, how much land would we consume if we had to like have 8-foot Kit Kats?
I just think like it's content farming, obviously, but like I kind of like this episode, but we won't talk about
funny
that. But like. But it's like the opposite. It's like us doing like the longest podcast or something stupid like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
which we just don't have
there's
time
no
for.
entertainment value in
Otherwise,
that as well.
We 100% would.
But look.
We
I
just
mean,
chime
like,
in and say hello.
The practicalities of this is just absurd. So, like, the biggest Kit Kat, like, the reason a Kit Kat is good is because it has a thin layer of wafer, then a thin layer of chocolate, and then a thin layer of wafer.
And in one bite, you get everything.
Yeah. How is he able to increase the size of the wafer without having layers and layers and layers of wafer within that? It's just not the same. It's not the same product. And also, like, the enjoyment factor is taken out. The world's biggest burger, you take a bite of that, you're just taking a bite of a wodge of bread or like a wodge of meat.
And this is the problem, isn't it? Like, I've had a really big Scotch egg before.
I bet you have.
Like a Scotch egg the size of my head.
Yeah.
Like that was the restaurant's selling point.
Yeah.
And I was just chewing through. All right. Not all of us get to go to fancy places.
Was that on a billboard? Like, world's biggest Scotch egg. Right, I'm going in there.
I go to places.
Yeah,
right?
Okay. And I'm not here to judge.
But I was kind of like just eating sausage meat for like a good.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and then obviously I think it was like an ostrich egg, so it was. It was bigger.
Yeah.
But like ostrich egg doesn't taste the same as a chicken's egg.
Yeah, also like with an ostrich egg, if you're buying that and you don't know what an ostrich egg tastes like, you've got a huge amount of egg to eat as well. That's boiled.
Big egg. It's a big egg.
It's a big egg. It's a big egg. Is that a segue into what you actually researched today? And is it the ostrich egg?
I wish.
No.
I really wish. So I misinterpreted that message heavily.
Okay. No, you haven't. You haven't misinterpreted it. I just said biggest, and now
and
you've chosen to interpret it a certain way. So what have you done?
I interpret it as giantification. Now,
as in like a sexual fetish.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure Vishnu is looking down at us proudly.
It's kind of, why do you think I did it, boys? Yeah. So this is a very specific, like a specific fetish, and although it, and I think it, from my research, it seems to have stemmed from the idea of the Amazon.
Yeah. Okay.
This idea of kind of like 6 foot, 7 foot women.
Oh yeah.
Who are very powerful.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that Amazons though?
Yeah.
They cut off their breasts.
Oh yeah, carry on.
But do you know why?
Oh, I do absolutely. I know all of this. But carry on. Tell me anyway.
Tell me why they cut off their breasts.
I mean, like it's because they are what's the word? They are preparing for a life of shooting arrows. Yeah.
It's the bowstring.
Yeah, the bowstring.
Yeah.
So
the whole, purpose, I guess, of giantification is to look at the tall woman as an object to be
adored, obsessed
over.
Yeah.
And the taller and the bigger they are,
okay,
the more. Have you seen Futurama, right?
Yes, yeah.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
Perfect example of giantification, right?
Yeah.
Big, broad, almost masculine women.
Yeah.
That have that sense of femininity as well.
Yeah, it's so like for anyone who's about to start bodybuilding so that they can get into giantification on OnlyFans. One thing I think needs to be made clear: it's actually very difficult to maintain that feminine look if you're gonna go full bodybuilder.
Full roid.
Yeah. If you're taking like substances and things like that to help with that, even if it is just like the stuff that's like legal to get, etc., it changes your face, it changes your and
while
your
it is about them being big and built, they're still very feminine. Feminine features, and really that doesn't play well with reality.
Yeah,
because like you said, the more kind of testosterone you're pumping in, the sharper your sharper your features, and the more masculine.
Yeah, your features get more muscular, and certain things like, I don't know what they're called, but those lines that people get between their nose and the corners of their mouths, they become more apparent, and before you know it, like your jowl is looking like Bruce Willis. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like it's difficult.
So giantification is the idea that this femininity is blown forward, and you'll get sort of like in my research, I saw pictures of like really feminine women who were like 11, 12 foot tall next to like relatively small men, like sort of my size, like 5'4", 5'5", to really emphasize the sort of the giant nature. And I think like most kind of like kinks and fetishes is this abolishment of reality, right? Because there isn't any like Playboy model-esque woman that's walking around that's 10 foot, 11 foot in nature. It's pure fantasy. And it seems like gentrification is that idea of that fantasy personified.
But like, where's the scale there? Because like, are we talking about people who are really interested in 11-foot women, or are we talking about people that are interested in Attack of the 10,000-Foot Woman, as in those she's always on the cover like in a bikini as well, like come on love, you knew you're going to be in a you're gonna sack a town, at least put on a decent dress, like what's going on,
like some armor or something.
But I mean, it's even at that point in time, it's clear that it's fetishizing, and obviously like people want to use her like a theme park ride, I suppose.
Well, did you see all that? Like, so She-Hulk came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And the amount...
To mixed reviews,
but the amount of, like, attention it got from horny male, like, viewers was insane.
Okay.
Obviously, she's an 8 foot, 9 foot green woman, but, like, I sometimes frequent comic book Reddits.
Yeah.
Right? The amount...
sometimes frequent, sometimes moderate.
Yeah. I'm not a Reddit moderator before I get my fedora hat on. And the amount of people that were just like, she is the hottest thing ever. Like,
really?
I would lose my virginity to this girl. And I'm just like, that says a lot. But, hyper fetishized.
Yeah.
This idea of, like a 9 foot tall green woman who, at least in the comics and in the TV show, retains her femininity.
Yeah.
Because although she's quite clearly ripped, right, she's got very feminine curves.
Yeah.
And that's consistent within the comic books, within like, the animations. Not that I'm a massive She-Hulk fan. I'm kind of coming across like this is my fetish.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting because she's also a lawyer as well, isn't she? So it's a weird sort of like story. I mean, like, I suppose you've got that with Matt Murdock and Daredevil and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a very similar sort of story arc between the, let's say, sagas or episodes or whatever they have. There's going to be somewhat of courtroom dramas within it. And she just happens to be like this gigantic woman that people can fetishize as well. Yeah.
And that's
gigantification. Thank you very much for that. So
what can I say?
My second one is the biggest pervert, and that will have to be Tom McGarity again. Yeah.
Third one.
Okay, so
the biggest kink shamer. That would have to be
me. That would be me. I'm gonna go with something completely different. I'm gonna go with the biggest machine.
You Monty Python me there.
Did I?
Yeah.
And now for something completely different. There we go. Okay, so the biggest machine is the...
I know this one.
Go on then.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Is it the Hadron Collider?
The Hadron Collider.
No. Is it really the Hadron Collider? Have I been saying the Hadron Collider this whole time?
I believe it is... I mean, it's not Hydron, because like hydrogen, like it doesn't have a Y. It's an A. A lot of these things end up being related to people who have designed them or created them or come up with them and stuff like that. So maybe it's something attached to that. But yeah, it's Hadron Collider. It is 27 kilometers in circumference.
Wow.
As a
Can we
full
do
ring.
that in miles?
So a mile is pretty much 1.6 kilometers.
Jeez. So to walk from one end to another,
Yeah.
you're talking like 18, 19 miles.
Yeah. That's good math as well. Well done, mate. So yeah, it's
Just
the
don't
world's...
check it, guys.
Sorry?
Just don't check it.
Don't check
Because
that.
I'm pretty sure it's more like 17.
I really love rough estimates.
Yeah.
I in baking, in math.
You're walking for more than 15 miles, so
Yeah,
anything
absolutely.
after that,
Yeah.
fair game.
Yeah, bring a snack before you start. Anyway, it's the world's biggest machine to exist, and ironically, it's studying the tiniest particles, tiniest scales of existence as well. So yeah, it's smashing together particles at near light speed, hoping to glimpse, scientists are, what happens fractions of a second after the Big Bang.
So is 90% of that machine a runway?
Yeah,
For each particle to
I guess
reach
so.
velocity?
It's got to build up speed. I have absolutely no idea how it would work, and I'm not going to spend this podcast doing it. But I've got a few
Because we're not smart enough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had a look at that and I was like, oh, okay. So for example, the Hadron Collider has already helped discover the Higgs boson, which is specifically named after someone. It is essentially a particle that gives mass to other particles. Okay,
Okay, cool.
So the idea, I guess, when you're thinking about the Big Bang, is the idea of that plane of existence having created mass, lots and lots of these Higgs bosons going off in order to create mass and to create something from nothing. Yeah,
That's cool.
it is called the God particle, I guess, for that pretty much for that reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping to find the idea of dark matter. Yeah. A lot of people will attribute the idea of dark matter and things like that to the what's the word? It's like an unknown element that will allow us to travel past the speed of light. As a fuel source.
Do you remember when
that's the
the
way
collider was first getting turned on and there was all that scaremongering? Because I was at school at the time.
Yeah.
Was it like 2008, 2007, 2008?
Yeah.
And they were saying like, oh, when it's turned on, there's going to be a black hole. In like it's going to rip through everything and we're going to cease to exist. And I remember going to school that day going, what's the point? The black hole's coming.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is, though...
I was half an hour away from going, fuck you, teacher, just, like, doing whatever I wanted because the world was ending.
Yeah, but luckily, the news, they moved on, and then everyone forgot about it. And still, you've got an opportunity to create black holes and tear, us asunder in the time-space continuum, but, everyone's moved on.
Are we already in a black hole, and we just don't realise it because time dilates, right?
Yeah. Possibly. Who knows? Yeah.
I certainly don't.
If I start stretching out, and I feel like I'm not only one side of the room, but also at the other side of the room at the same time, maybe.
But would I even be able to
moments
perceive
before the end? What?
Would I even be able to perceive that? That's the question.
Yeah, totally. If you feel a bit squiffy,
I always feel squiffy.
Yeah, maybe that's it. That's it for you. You can make some comparisons to it being like a modern Tower of Babel.
Speaking of size, going back to this whole Hadron Collider, I remember my friend going, "You'd be all right because you'll last a couple more seconds in the black hole because you're shorter." so because of the time dilation, I'd have an extra minute on you, Carl.
Yeah, brilliant. That's good to know. I mean, yeah, I don't want to think about this anymore. I don't want to just look like die in an instant. I also we've got how much time have we got? Sorry, we've recorded 28 seconds of this, and we've got about 20. Oh, we can We're gonna have to like rush out of here once it's finished. All right, just
I've got to get all the way to Springs though.
better run. You better run. This will be your biggest strides. Take your biggest strides, mate.
I'm finishing at 20 past.
Yeah. All right.
We've
Well,
got 9
look,
minutes.
we're super busy this week, and it is insane. I know we keep saying that, but it is really
no,
bad.
we're actually being for real now.
yeah. This is real. We keep crying wolf. But yeah. So modern Tower of Babel. It's the idea of unlocking the secret architecture of reality. It might destroy the world, etc., by creating a black hole. But yeah, it's very similar to that biblical story of the Tower of Babel. Keep building a tower up to the heavens so that it can be an affront to God, and God's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want you to see. I haven't even tidied up here. So yeah. So
I love the idea that it's just because he's not swung a broom around, so he destroys a whole civilization just because Cappy has to pick up after himself.
Oh fuck! I haven't prepared for guests.
Lightning! Floods!
Change your language. That's actually what he did. He changed everyone's language. It's the story of why we've got different languages.
Yeah,
different nations
hence why you've got
Babel fish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
And isn't the Rosetta Stone part of that as well?
No, funnily enough, I was teaching my son about that today. That is Egyptian. So the Rosetta Stone is a tablet that has 3 different translations of the same paragraph. The first one being hieroglyphics, the other one being Greek, and the other one being another language that I don't remember what it is. But they were able to understand hieroglyphics because they had those other translations.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's that. That is really interesting that you did mention that because I randomly put that video on.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is something that's really interesting. It's the idea of alchemy, turning lead to gold.
Yeah.
Now, in a recent breakthrough, physicists using the Hadron Collider briefly transmuted lead into gold. Only though in picogram quantities and only for a moment.
Oh, okay. But they were able to transform it regardless.
That is a fantastic what's the word? Evolution of science, I guess, isn't it? That's another level. That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
And it's a tiny section of a milligram today. 200 years later, that's a whole wad of cash.
Yeah, I don't really understand why they can only create it for a moment. What actually happens to it?
I suppose you know how a spark goes and then it flies away. Maybe it transmuted and then changed back.
It's probably part way through that transmutation.
Kind of did and then reversed. Yeah, coupled out. Or...
Maybe it's turning into something. Maybe it's starting as lead, then is turning to gold, but by the time they manage to stop it and cool it down, it's already carbon or something.
If you're a scientist and you think we're chatting shit, then come and let us know how it actually goes back.
I will definitely be able to understand what you write in our what's the word, on our social media. So yeah, definitely that.
I'll definitely not put it through AI to be like, can you make this so someone who's as thick as me can understand, please?
I think I'll just get AI to respond.
Yeah.
You just end up having a conversation with AI.
In the paper from 2009, they state.
Okay, go ahead. What's your next big subject if you've got one? That's done.
I've got no big ideas.
Gigantic. What's your only one? You big perv. Okay, that's fine. All right. So I'm going to just talk about the potential biggest journey. Okay,
the biggest
which
journey.
Is the soul's passage in Tibetan Buddhism. Okay, so in Tibetan Buddhist cosmology, there can be described as an intermediate state between death and birth. It can be described as that biggest journey of all. And it is talked about in the Bardo Thodol, which is popularly known as the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It describes vast, terrifying and awe-inspiring visions the soul encounters. Essentially, this is the biggest journey that you'll ever go on, bigger than any sort of pilgrimage, war or voyage. And it determines the shape of future lives. So yeah, you'll see on your journey the through I guess their version of the underworld, deities as tall as mountains, radiant lights brighter than 1,000 suns, and the dissolving of reality itself. So
That sounds well grim.
yeah, it does. They're not external, though, but they're projections of the mind's true nature, and they appear immense, overwhelming, and cosmic. Okay, so the biggest journey is not necessarily across land, but it's inward through vast landscapes of the consciousness. So it's broken up into three different areas. So in Tibetan Buddhism, the bardo is the intermediate state between death and rebirth. Yeah. And the Bardo Thodol, as I've mentioned, the Book of the Dead, is a ritual funeral text intended to give the consciousness, to guide the consciousness, through that interval. Okay. So it's kind of like their purgatory in a way. God knows what is at the other end of that. But there are three.
I mean, yeah, he probably does.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably does, doesn't he? Yeah, sorry about that. There are three different bardos. Yeah, 3 death bardos. The first is the Shikhai bardo, the moment of death, the clear light of reality. The second is the Shonyin bardo, the visionary encounter with peaceful and wrathful deities. And the third is the Sidpa bardo, the karmic process of becoming, leading to rebirth. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we get at the end of the day. It's just that state between your death and rebirth.
Some of these are well advanced, aren't they? Like, we've been looking at kind of, the idea of afterlife since this podcast really began, and like some of these are so creative.
Yeah, yeah. And you just wouldn't know about them, would you? Otherwise, wouldn't you? Yeah. So immediately after the death in the Shikhai bardo, the most fundamental luminosity is said to appear. If recognized by the practitioner, it can lead directly to liberation. This is the single largest opportunity for release. Yeah. The Shonyid bardo, the visions. Consciousness meets a parade of peaceful, then wrathful forms, described as radiantly vast and terrifying. But these are interpreted as projections of the mind. Training in meditation helps one recognize them rather than be swept away. This, to be honest with you, all of this is very similar to people's experiences on like ayahuasca and these sort of like drugs.
Yeah, I
and
was
things
thinking
like
that when the dissolving of nature and
also
big,
the visitations
big giant,
and stuff like that.
Deities.
Yeah. I mean, like it would make sense because like DMT is something that's released at death, so it's quite possible that you're having these visions and stuff like that, or something similar, and that's where it's come from. But I just wonder how that's then, I guess, provided for the people that are living, so that they can make things like the Book of the Dead. So I'm seeing this. You'd be out of it, wouldn't you? You'd be.
But if
seeing
someone's
that
had a
clear light.
near-death experience and they can recall it,
Yeah.
or someone's been brought back.
Yeah. I guess there's plenty of opportunity for you to like describe what's going on and stuff like that if you keep your wits with you. Then the final one is the Sidpa Bardo, which is the becoming. The karmic impulses generate increasingly attractive, illusory scenes that pull consciousness towards a rebirth appropriate to its habitual patterns. So this state culminates in the choice of a new life. So you're basically tantalized with this could be your next life, this could be your next life, this could be your next life.
Time to spin the wheel.
That's it. Yeah, but I think it's like, I'm gonna go with door number 3.
I'm gonna pick a worm. I want to be a worm.
Yeah. So the bardo can be read literally, or as often Western thinkers have taken it, it's like a psychedelic, or even psychedelic guides even. It draws parallels between death and ego dissolution, which is something, I guess, that is happening when you go through one of these therapeutic drug things, journeys and stuff like that, on the old ayahuasca or other such things like that. What I'm going to do is, Tom, you are going to leave us now.
I'm going to go on my biggest journey.
Absolutely.
And you've got some big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill. Yes.
Are you gonna? I'm gonna ASMR myself out.
Yeah,
you ready?
You can do.
Ready? Never works, does it?
It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm just going to finish off with just one more of these big boys. One thing to take into account is that the blue whale, I know, right? The blue whale is the biggest creature to have ever existed on Earth. Now, that's something that we maybe take for granted because we've got things like Diplodocus, Brachiosaurus and things like that on... on display and stuff like that, and they look pretty big. But the blue whale surpasses this. It is a very big boy at this point in time. So that's something to take into account. He's over 25 meters and weighs up to 200 tons. So that's surpassing even the largest of dinosaurs. And there are lots of myths within, say, for example, Hebrew scripture, Norse lore, and other things like that that can be attributed to similar sort of creatures. And perhaps when people have seen the vast mass of a blue whale, they are then able to, I guess, come up with these stories of other such things. So for example, the Leviathan in Hebrew scripture, or the Jormungandr of the world serpent of Norse lore. I'm going to have another crack at that. I don't think I did a very good job of that. Jormungandr. Sorry. They're very. They echo the idea of a blue whale. And humanity has always imagined that something immense lurks in the oceans, embodying the scale of the unknown. And then we get that in some of the other things that we've talked about. We've briefly talked about the idea of thalassophobia and the idea of just something of unimaginable size being that thing that you are scared of. Yeah. What's interesting to note is the idea that the world's largest being is sustained by a very, very tiny being, not the world's tiniest being, but at least it provides us with some strange poetry. It feeds on krill. Yeah. And it's quite interesting how an animal has evolved to maximum size in a watery environment with an immense heart pumping and its song carrying for hundreds of miles. The blue whale is, you have to admit, a living myth, and it's one that we should appreciate and maybe not kill it. I don't know. That would be interesting if we could maybe not do that if we're doing that. We probably are. Moving on, just very quickly, I'll give you one more before we finish. The biggest structure, the Great Pyramid of Giza. For nearly 4,000 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza held the record as the tallest human-made structure on Earth. And it rose about 146 meters when it was first built, and it wasn't surpassed until the 14th century with the construction of the Lincoln Cathedral in England. But the true bigness of the pyramid lies not only in its height, but its cultural and symbolic weight. So, constructed from an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing over 80 tons, it remains a feat of engineering that continues to baffle researchers. And there are myths about this. Some suggest alien architects, others mystical energies or hidden chambers with esoteric secrets. So in reality, the pyramid embodies both the grandeur and mortality of kingship. It was the tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, and it was a monument to the idea that rulers could align themselves with eternity. No one is going to forget Pharaoh Khufu, or at least the Egyptian people were certainly not going to. Yeah. So in myth, the pyramid becomes not just a building, but a mountain, a man-made axis mundi connecting heaven and earth. And its endurance across millennia makes it one of the biggest cultural symbols humanity has ever produced. You can see this bad boy from space quite easily. So it was built around 2500 BCE for Pharaoh Khufu, and it's found that recent Muon scans revealed a hidden void above the Grand Gallery, about 30 meters long, suggesting there are more deeper mysteries within the pyramid that we can be looking into. And we will most probably have an episode on the pyramids because that is a super interesting subject. And I think it would be nice for us to just leave that a little while just so that we can perhaps find out what is actually under that pyramid in those, hidden voids and the Grand Gallery, above the Grand Gallery. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to this episode. It's been a bit of a weird one, but I hope it's been interesting for you. If you can try and help make us the biggest podcast there is, obviously it's not going to happen, but if you could, it would be fantastic. Tell your friends about the podcast. Get involved with the things that we have online, social media and stuff like that. Give us a rating, give us a review on the podcast platform that you're using. We would happily have more listeners, and it's going to help us grow and become better at what we do. And I do think we are actually getting better. Thank you very much. Bye.